Hello everyone, Zarka Sarwat this side from Department of Zoology, JT Arts, Science and Commerce College for Women, Maligaon. Dear student, this is a presentation mainly for TYBSc student, and here we are going to discuss about mammalian physiology and endocrinology in that unit number 9, that is endocrinology. There is a subunit that is endocrine disorder. So first of all, we will see what is the meaning of endocrine disorders. So endocrine disorders are a condition which are related to the endocrine glands of the body. As we know that our body contains endocrine as well as exocrine glands. The endocrine glands are the glands which do not contain any duct system. They secrete their secretion directly into the bloodstream, and by the circulation of blood, they act on their target organ. The chemicals which are secreted from the endocrine glands are called hormones, and these hormones are very important for our body regulation as it regulates number of processes such as appetite, breathing, growth, fluid balance, feminization and virilization, and very important, that is weight control. The endocrine system consists of several glands. In that master gland, that is pituitary gland, which is present in the brain. Pituitary gland working under the control of hypothalamus. There is a presence of adrenal gland which is present on kidneys, so also called as suprarenal gland. Presence of thyroid gland in the neck region, as well as duplex gland, that is pancreas, ovaries and testes. The stomach, liver and intestine, also pancreas. They also secrete some hormones, and these hormones are involved in the process of digestion. Most common endocrine disorders are related to improper functioning of the pancreas and the pituitary gland, thyroid and adrenal glands. So first disorder, that is gigantism, and the gigantism is a rare condition that causes abnormal growth in children. It occurs when a child's body produces too much growth hormone. As we know that pituitary gland secretes growth hormone, also called as GH, that is growth hormone, secreted into the bloodstream. If this hormone secreted above the normal range, then the child suffer from gigantism, and gigantism, it is the abnormal or excess growth of body. Early diagnosis is very important in this case. Prompt treatment can stop or slows the changes that may cause a child to grow larger than normal. Growth during childhood is controlled by the secretion of growth hormone into the bloodstream from the pituitary gland. Sex hormone secretion, that is estrogen and testosterone, female and in male respectively, increases at puberty and causes the growth plate, that is called as the epiphysis, which is present at the end of the long bones, and they start to fuse together slowly. Height growth stop at the end of puberty, as we know that when the epiphyses have completely joined, and this happens in normal children, but in gigantism, which is an endocrine disorder which is resulting from long-term secretion of too much growth hormone, which accelerates the growth of muscles, bones and connective tissue in childhood or adolescence before the end of puberty. Then the resulting, it accelerates the growth rate and increased height, as well as number of additional soft tissue changes. and when left untreated or uncontrolled, some individuals suffering from gigantism have grown in excess of 8 feet tall, that is 2.43 meter tall. The most famous example is that of Robert Wadlow, who is the tallest person in the history at 8 feet 11 inch in tall, that is 2.71 meter. Gigantism is very similar to acromegaly, but acromegaly is also caused by the excess of growth hormone secretion, but during adulthood rather than childhood. This means that height is normal as the growth plate have fused before the excess hormone secretion occur. Okay. Now next, what are the causes of gigantism? First, because of presence of tumor in the pituitary gland, and this is the almost main cause of gigantism, presence of tumor in the pituitary gland. As we know that pituitary, it is the P-shaped structure present at the base of brain. When a tumor grows on the pituitary gland, the gland makes more growth hormone than the body needs. Other less common causes of gigantism may include: first, number 1, McCune-Albright syndrome. McCune-Albright syndrome, in this there is a development of fibrous tissue in the bone, and this is a disease that causes abnormal growth in the bone tissue, patches of light brown skin, and gland abnormalities. Another reason of gigantism, that is Carney complex. This is the autosomal dominant disease. This is a genetic disorder. Here the spotty pigmentation we can see, and this is an inherited condition that causes non-cancerous tumor on the connective tissue, cancerous or non-cancerous endocrine tumor, and spots of darker skin, that is the spotty pigmentation. Next cause, that is multiple endocrine neoplasia type 1. In this, the uncontrolled growth of cell takes place. It is an inherited disorder that causes tumor in the pituitary gland, pancreas, or parathyroid gland. Last, that is neurofibromatosis. It is also called as NF, neurofibromatosis. In this, non-cancerous tumor are formed, and it is also an inherited disorder that causes tumor in the nervous system. Okay, these are some causes of gigantism. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of gigantism? In that, number 1, the signs and symptoms of gigantism are accelerated growth leading to above normal expected height for a child of their age. The effect of growth hormone on bone, ligament, and soft tissues. Swelling can lead to coarse facial feature, excessively large hand and feet with thick fingers and toes, prominent forehead and jaws. These are some signs which indicate the disorders. In this, there is a main effect on the growth hormone on the bone, ligaments, and soft tissue. Swelling can lead to coarse facial expression, that is, face becomes very rough and harsh in their texture, excessively large hand and feet with thick fingers and toes. Next signs, that is larger adenomas. It means that there is a larger formation of non-cancerous tumor of gland which can damage the function of normal pituitary gland, causing failure of secretion of other hormone, and this condition is called as hypopituitarism. Larger adenomas may also cause headache, visual field disturbances, and nausea as a result of the tumor pressing on the brain and nerves to the eyes. In some cases, puberty may be delayed if pressure from the adenoma on the pituitary gland result in failure of secretion of sex hormone and thus allows further growth of the skeleton. Gigantism can be complicated by diabetes, high blood pressure, carpal tunnel syndrome. This is a type of syndrome in which a numbness, tightening in the hand and arms caused by pinched nerve in wrist. Also enlargement of the internal organ, especially the heart. These are some signs and symptoms of gigantism. Now we will see diagnosis of gigantism. How we can diagnose? First, if gigantism is expected, the diagnosis is usually confirmed by taking blood test to measure the level of growth hormone and insulin like growth factor 1 circulating in the blood, as pituitary gland secreted growth hormone, and these growth hormone stimulate the liver for the production of IGF-1, that is insulin like growth factor 1. Insulin like growth factor 1 is secreted into the blood by the liver in response to growth hormone which is secreted from the pituitary gland. So the diagnosis is usually confirmed by taking the blood test to measure the level of growth hormone and insulin like growth factor 1. Next, an oral glucose tolerance test, that is called as OGTT, is also performed. This involves drinking a glucose solution and then having blood sample taken periodically over a few hours to estimate the growth hormone level. In a normal person, the amount of growth hormone in the blood is reduced by the glucose solution. But if a person suffers from pituitary gigantism, the growth hormone level does not suppress to low level as it would in a normal population. Next, diagnosis can be done by magnetic resonance imaging, that is called as MRI scan, is undertaken to assess the size of pituitary gland and the degree of compression of surrounding structure. By MRI, the size of pituitary gland can be assessed and the degree of compression of surrounding structure because of formation of tumor on the pituitary. These investigations are all performed as an outpatient. So these are some diagnosis feature of gigantism. Now we are going towards the treatment of gigantism. How we can treat? Gigantism requires early diagnosis, as we learned earlier, and aggressive treatment in order to prevent excess height and to improve life expectancy. In that, surgery is usually the first line treatment with the aim of removing or reducing the size of tumor which is present on the pituitary gland for to lower the growth hormone level in the blood. Next, the type of surgery will depend on the size of tumor and how easily it can be reached. Radiation therapy can be offered as an outpatient if surgery has not provided a complete cure. Radiation therapy can take several years to be completely effective, around 50% of patients achieve control of growth hormone secretion within 7 to 10 years. Very long time. Radiation therapy may not only reduce growth hormone and insulin like growth factor 1 level, but can also effective in controlling tumor growth. Okay. Now next, drug therapy may also used for the treatment of gigantism. Drug therapy may also be used in that there are number of conditions. In that, number 1, before surgery to control symptoms and cause the tumor to shrink. Next, following surgery where growth hormone level are not controlled in patients while radiation treatment is taking effect. In some individuals where surgery cannot be performed, depending on the drug used, several types of drug therapy may lower growth hormone level, block growth hormone action, and possibly reduce the size of tumor present in the pituitary. Okay. Now next, what are the side effects of this treatment? First, side effect from surgery can include hemorrhage, that is escape of blood from the ruptured blood vessels, also infection, loss of sense of smell, or damage to the pituitary gland resulting in pituitary hormone deficiencies, and this condition is called as hypopituitarism. Another side effect of treatment is radiation therapy to the pituitary gland can also cause hypopituitarism. It may increase the risk of premature stroke or worsening memory. It means that it affects directly on the memory power. Next, side effect of this treatment, that is dopamine based drugs can cause reduced appetite, nausea, vomiting, and dizziness, that is the loss of body balance. Somatostatin, which is the analogous to the growth hormone, are given by injection and can cause skin and muscle irritation at the site of injection. These drugs can also cause tummy upset, mostly diarrhea, cramping, abdominal pain shortly after injection. About 20% of patients develop gallstones after long-term use of this treatment. Pegvisomant, which is the growth hormone antagonist, can disturb the liver function, and regular blood tests are used to monitor this. Okay, dear student, I hope this video is so informative to you. Thank you so much. Keep watching.